Yo, what's up, everyone? Today we're gonna be talking about Kissland, and we're just gonna talk about what exactly makes it so good and what makes it so special, at least to me, in my personal opinion. But yeah, let's start off with a couple of things. Like, Kissland is just such a unique album because of the fact that it does something that when I listen to it, it just gives out this energy that is so deeply cinematic, but not just cinematic, but very special. And it's weird because it has this foreign aesthetic. This foreign aesthetic gives it this kind of unique and ambiguous vibe where you don't necessarily know what's going to happen next. I think that's what's so great about Kissland. When you listen to his other albums, The Weeknd's other albums like After Hours, Beauty Behind the Madness, Starboy, you can kind of get a direction of where it's going to go. But with Kissland, it feels like Trilogy, but it feels more, and more expansive than Trilogy. You really think about it, and you really look at the aesthetic, you look at the visuals, and you just see this kind of atmosphere, with the Japanese letters and the cat, the whole thing with the greens, the neons. And I got the album right here. Let me tell you something. I never really buy albums. That's something that I just don't do. I don't really buy albums. But Kissland is so special that I actually bought it, because I have really high standards when it comes to what I like. But Kissland is so great because when you always listen to Kissland, you always feel like there's more layers to it. There's more like something more to it. And also, Loki kind of has that timeless feel. I mean, not to say that Starboy, Beauty Behind the Madness, After Hours doesn't have that. It does have those timeless songs like Blinding Lights and shit. But Kissland is just like, it's one of those things where it's like, I ask myself, if I were to listen to this over and over again, would I enjoy it? And just Kissland always wins. The album always wins because it's such a short amount of tracks. Like 10 tracks just feels so short, but the way that he uses that time to just kind of, expand upon that universe, it's just perfect. But yeah, if we're gonna like go deep into it, right? The tracks are really good. Oh shit, fuck. Okay, the tracks are really awesome. We got Professional, The Town, Adaptation, Love in the Sky, Belong to the World, Live For, Wonderlust, Kissland, Pretty, and Tears in the Rain. Just 10 tracks. Just 10 tracks. But, Kissland is it's really perfect. Every track, 6 minutes, always takes its time, but it's always nice. When I first initially listened to Kissland, it wasn't as good because of the fact that it felt really mundane and it wasn't in your face about it. But I just kind of didn't anticipate it. I kind of was expecting more of like the pop music I was familiar with Beauty Behind the Madness and Starboy. And just looking at this art just really makes me really enjoy it. Just take a look at the art. There's the cat I was referring to, and then the text, that Japanese text. Essentially, what makes it so great, right, is basically Kissland is essentially just like a movie. We think of Blade Runner, we think of Ghost in the Shell, we think of those type of films. I think Kissland is exactly, inspired by that. I think there was this kind of quote or interview he was talking about Kissland, and he was saying that he was inspired by John Carpenter horror films. I think he was talking about the self-titled track specifically, and also there's also other things like he watched sus shit while producing the beats, and I'm not gonna say exactly what it is, but yeah, that too. But it just goes to show what atmosphere he was going for, and I really do understand it. I understood, after so many listens, what Kissland was supposed to mean, and that's what makes good music, or what makes a song or an album good, is if you can listen to it over and over again and really just love it. compared to like, you know, I see people put After Hours in the S tier, A tier, whatever the fuck tier like that is high, and my personal opinion about that is that I can see where they're coming from. It has that dark atmosphere After Hours, and it does have those, like, it has a mixture of pop songs, dark songs, but it just doesn't hit as the same as Kissland, because Kissland is not in your face. You know, it's slow. It kind of takes its time. You know, it's not flashy. It's just staying in its own lane. And that's what makes it so great. It's like it's an extension of Trilogy, but it's so different. That it just stands on its own. So that's what makes it so great. Yeah, that's about it.
You have to bleep the swear words? Fuck you.